Solar panels don't just magically appear out of thin air. They get made by people in factories, usually using a lot of stuff that's been mined and driven around.
And then once they're made, some of them will travel a long way across the world to end up on your roof.
Naturally, this whole thing generates a lot of carbon emissions, which means yes, solar panels do indeed have a carbon footprint.
But the question is, how big is this carbon footprint?
And the other question is, do solar panels eventually pay off their initial carbon footprint?
I'm Josh.
I'm Charlie.
And we are Sunsave. We offer the UK's first solar subscription, but more on that later.
Are solar panels really as green as they seem? Let's find out.
Solar panel manufacturing produced more than 51.9 million tonnes of CO2 in 2021, according to a pretty enormous report by the International Energy Agency, or IEA.
And that might sound hefty, because it is, but if you put it into context, that was only 0.15% of the carbon emissions generated that year from energy-related activities.
You heard that right. Of all the carbon emissions related to energy, so that includes the combustion and production of coal, gas and oil, solar production only made up a measly 0.15%.
And in contrast, coal contributed 40% of the world's energy-related emissions in that year, which is 270 times more than solar. And coal, unlike solar, has no chance of ever paying off its initial carbon footprint. It just gets worse.
You can always rely on solar panels to pay off their debts.
Yep, according to a study from the Fraunhofer Institute for Solar Energy Systems in 2024, a solar panel that's manufactured in Europe and then installed in Europe will cancel out its initial carbon footprint in around 1 year.
And if you think that a solar panel being made in China will make a big difference,
think again.
Yes, because a solar panel that's made in China, transported to Europe and then installed in Europe will actually pay off its carbon footprint in just 1.18 years.
Obviously, it makes a bit of a difference as to whether the solar panel is installed in a sunny country like Spain or a cold country like Finland, but the difference is about 6 months, so not that long.
Not that long at all. Of course, your solar payback period may differ a bit from these numbers, as they're just averages, but the main takeaway from this data is that it does not take very long at all to pay back your carbon footprint from solar.
And once your solar panel system has cancelled out its initial carbon footprint in 1 or 2 years, oh, what a bountiful future of clean green. Oh, what a bountiful clean green future lies ahead of it.
And with modern monocrystalline solar panels currently estimated to last between 30 and 40 years, you could have up to 39 years of environmental net positive benefits from your solar panel system.
To learn more about how long solar panels last, we've done a whole article about it. The link is in the video description.
Hit the
like button and subscribe.
Yay!
Right, so we've told you about the carbon emissions of solar panels, but I think we should give a little bit more detail about where these emissions actually come from.
Yes, there are 4 key things that contribute to a solar panel's carbon footprint before it goes on your rooftop.
Yeah, number 1 is mining for metals. So according to the IEA, metal within a solar panel is only about 1.47% of the panel, so it's minuscule, but they are all very important.
Yes, in a monocrystalline solar panel, the most common metals include tin, copper, nickel, and a couple of others.
Silver.
Aluminium, copper
Lead.
as well. Lead.
Said copper already.
I did say copper. In a thin film solar panel, you'll find less common metals that you may not have heard of, such as tellurium, cadmium, and indium.
These metals are mined all over the world, but the main players are China, Russia, Australia, Canada, and the US.
There are also countries that specialise in one specific kind of metal. For instance, Mexico produces the most silver, Indonesia mines the most nickel, and South Africa mines the most manganese. That is all according to the US Geological Survey of 2024.
And as you can imagine, the extraction, processing and transportation of all these metals contributes a lot of carbon emissions.
It's currently not possible to isolate and measure the specific carbon footprint of all these processes. That could change soon thanks to the Coalition on Materials Emissions Transparency, or COMET. If they create a framework, then we'll know very soon the specific emissions of all of these processes.
Fingers crossed they create a framework.
Number 2 is the production of polysilicon, ingots and wafers.
The production of polysilicon accounts for 40% of the emissions from solar panel production, but silicon only makes up 5% of each panel.
God, all that energy expended for such a small part of the panel.
Small but vital, because it's the silicon in a solar panel that does the important job of converting daylight into electricity, so the reason people have panels. The sun is going down, so we've had to come off the hill because things were getting a bit dark, so now we're down the hill and the sun's back in our faces again.
Yes, it is. So the process starts with brave people down in a furnace melting chunks of quartzite at 1700 degrees Celsius. That is so hot. After that, you get polysilicon that is about 98% pure.
That sounds pretty damn pure to me.
Not pure enough for our perfectionists in the furnace. What they do after that is use the Siemens process to gain even more purity. In fact, they get to 99.999999999% purity, also known as 11N.
Well, that sounds pretty damn pure to me.
Yes, at this point, the manufacturers will agree with you. They will stop and accept this level of purity.
And the polysilicon might think it's all over, but it's not. It is thrust back into the furnace at a really high temperature, melted down again and rotated constantly. And then they drag a seed crystal through the molten polysilicon, and that produces a single crystal ingot.
Wow, kind of like an apple on a stick being dragged through a vat of spinning molten toffee to produce a toffee apple.
Exactly. Black diamonds, black gold, coke, nutty slack. However you choose to refer to coal, you can't change the fact that it's used to fuel 62% of the electricity that's currently used to manufacture solar panels.
And electricity makes up 80% of the energy used to create solar panels. So obviously, the cleanliness of electricity matters a lot when calculating the carbon footprint of solar panels.
And when there's coal involved, you can bet your bottom dollar that it's pretty dirty electricity.
Yes, and the coal-generated electricity, the reason we have so much of it is because so many solar panels are made in China, particularly in the coal-intensive regions of Xinjiang and Jiangsu.
This is not to say that all of China is obsessed with coal. If they shifted their solar panel manufacturing down to southern provinces like Sichuan and Yunnan, where electricity is 80% fueled by hydropower, things would be a lot cleaner.
Yes, and the national trend is encouraging. As of 2022, 30% of China's electricity is generated by renewable sources, up from just 20% in 2013.
And factor number 4 is shipping the solar panels to where they need to be. Sunlight is worldwide, the appeal of solar panels is worldwide, but as we've said, the majority of solar panels are made in China, so if they need to get to where they need to get to, there's a fair bit of travelling to do.
Yes, the shipping of polysilicon, cells, wafers and panels is responsible for about 1.8 million tonnes of CO2 being released each year, but 95% of that is the finished product being moved.
Sunsave Plus is the UK's first solar subscription, and it is designed to unlock solar for millions of households in the UK.
With Sunsave Plus, you can switch to solar with no upfront cost. All you have to do is pay a fixed monthly fee for 20 years. And it does stay absolutely fixed. No sneaky price rises, so you are fully protected against inflation from energy bills.
You will immediately start saving on your energy bills, and you will also earn income for exporting excess electricity to the grid. And these combined savings could exceed your monthly payment to Sunsave, which means you actually earn money each year despite paying a subscription. This means you don't have to wait years for payback, which is what most people have to do when they buy solar upfront.
Your best-in-class solar and battery system will also be protected by the Sunsave Guarantee, which provides total peace of mind that your system will produce clean, green electricity for the duration of your subscription, without you having to raise a finger.
The Sunsave Guarantee includes free replacement parts, including a battery and inverter, 24/7 monitoring and maintenance, comprehensive insurance provided by Aviva, and downtime cover.
Sunsave Plus is built to be flexible, so you're in charge of your subscription. Therefore, you can make a full or partial early repayment at any point without incurring any fees, charges, or penalties.
You also legally own your system from day one, which means that you will earn 100% of the export income. We don't take a cut.
Sunsave Plus also doesn't require a roof lease or airspace lease, which have historically caused problems with mortgage providers in the past.
To learn more about Sunsave Plus, head to our website, sunsave.energy. There you can read way more about a subscription, watch interviews with people who already have it, and sign up yourself.
As we've explained, the manufacture and shipping of solar panels creates a burst of carbon emissions, but you'll be pleased to know that on a per panel basis, this number is decreasing.
Yes, the emissions intensity of solar panel manufacturing has fallen by 45% between 2011 and 2021, according to the IEA, and it looks set to keep on falling.
Brilliant. There are 3 main big reasons for this. Number 1, an increase in material efficiency,
which is getting a better result whilst using the same amount of material or less material. For example, the amount of silver used in solar cells has fallen by 1/3 between 2009 and 2018.
Number 2, the rise of renewably generated electricity in big solar panel manufacturing countries like China.
And obviously, the cleaner your electricity, the cleaner your solar panel manufacturing.
Yes, and number 3, improvements in energy efficiency around the production of polysilicon. So over the past decade, researchers have decreased the energy intensity of the Siemens process, which takes so much energy, by around 50%.
Well done, researchers.
The final point to cover is solar panel disposal. It's all well and good if your solar panels make up their carbon footprint and offset it.
It's really well and good.
Yes, but what happens when they really give up the ghost? What happens then? Do they go to solar panel heaven?
Fortunately, solar panels can be, are and will be recycled.
Once your panels have reached the end of their useful life, all you need to do is contact your installer. They are legally compelled to remove and recycle your solar panels, all for free.
That's because they all come under the Waste Electrical and Electronic Equipment Regulations.
Or WEEE regulations.
And if your installer has also come to the end of its useful life, do not fret. You can contact a producer compliance scheme like PV Cycle and they will come over and take your panels away for you.
Once a solar panel is at a recycling facility, it will be torn limb from limb and completely shredded until 85% of it is able to be recycled.
To learn more about solar panel recycling, we've done a very detailed guide about the whole process. The link is in the video description.
So there you have it. Unfortunately, we cannot yet magic solar panels out of thin air, so creating them does cause some carbon emissions.
And unlike almost everything that's made around the world, solar panels do actually pay back their initial carbon footprint.
To learn more about this topic, check out our guide. The link is in the video description.
And also, if one guide isn't enough for you, we have our Solar Advice Hub, which is our carefully curated online library of solar advice guides.
And to learn more about Sunsave Plus and sign up for the UK's first solar subscription, check the link in the video description again.
And please do subscribe to our channel for weekly videos about solar from these two.
Next time!
Goodbye.